every VR user fits into one of these 10 players. So which one are you? Starting with the noob.
I got this VR like a week ago.
I mean, we've all been this guy at some point. You just bought a Quest, and no matter how hard Meta tries to simplify things, you're still confused and can't figure out anything. And if you play for over just 10 minutes, you get motion sick and you start throwing up. But these guys aren't harming anyone, and we've all been there before. So they're getting a solid A tier. The rich kid. They have all the accessories you can think of. And you know they're never running out of battery because they got that $85 official Meta Elite strap. And some of them even have thousands of dollars of setup that look like this. You know, they're the kids that say, oh, my dad works for Meta, and which he probably does, and they're gonna get you banned. They're the type who to watch my video on the weirdest products, which by the way, like, are all of these right here, and actually buy all of them just for fun. I bought it for the video, not for fun, by the way. So yeah, they are arrogant, but after all, I would say that they are pretty friendly to us peasants. And so I'm gonna give them a C tier. The casuals. If you're a casual VR player, you're just a normal dude probably coming back from work or from school who just wants to chill out and have fun with that VR headset, which after all, you did spend half a grand on. You usually mind your own business, and you don't have the time or effort to sweat out VR games because you're just here to have fun. You don't have like one game you play religiously. You just play whatever you feel like at the moment. You're definitely the most chill players in this list, which is great because the casuals are most VR players, honestly. That's why I'd say overall, and you know, thanks to you, the VR community isn't even that bad. We're entering a new era of technology and everyone feels like a new player. Heck, even I feel like a new player and I've been playing VR for years. So yes, as a casual player myself, I do have a bias. So obviously I'm gonna give you the highest ranking on this list. Solid S tier. You guys are the best. The mutes. I have mixed feelings for these users. You can find mutes in most multiplayer games, but VR chat is where you find them in their natural habitat. Mutes don't speak. Ever. They communicate with their body language. And sometimes they even write out what they're trying to say with like a virtual pen. I mean, look, we've all had some kind of experience on flat screen games, like let's say Fortnite, where our random teammate doesn't have a mic. But in VR, everyone has a mic. It's literally integrated in the VR headset. The mutes have no excuse, unless they're like, you know, shy and they just don't want to speak, I guess. And the funniest thing about the mutes is that they congregate all together, what, in silence? The only annoying thing about the mutes, really, is that there are too many of them in places they shouldn't be. Like VR chat, a game made to socialize. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna put them into a C tier. I think that's a fair judgment. Gorilla Tag sweats. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. Just hop in any Gorilla Tag lobby and look up. And there they are, flying around, wall climbing, doing the most insane moves. And the worst part is most Gorilla Tag players are sweats. Because unfortunately, Gorilla Tag, you're either a complete noob or you're just like a hardcore sweat pro. I will say though, usually everyone in Gorilla Tag is actually very kind. And the sweats usually aren't arrogant about it. To be honest, I don't even know if they know how good they are in this game because you can always get better. So if you're a Gorilla Tag sweat, respect, bro. That game is so hard to improve. So let's give them a solid B. Rec Room Kids. If you've ever played Rec Room, you definitely know who I'm talking about. These kids are so annoying. They're no older than 8 and are here just to annoy the crap out of the entire VR community. Kind of like in that Lego movie when the sister comes to play. Yeah, nobody likes these kids. They either scream at you randomly or just are acting super weird for no reason. Forget trying to play multiplayer with them. These kids' brains are fried. They have major TikTok brains, so they can't play anything for more than 5 minutes without getting bored. In a video game too. Yeah, these kids honestly have nothing redeeming about them, so they're gonna go in the F tier. Or I guess the D tier in this case. Let me change this to an F tier. That should be F. The VR Extroverts. Everyone loves these guys. They're just super friendly people who instantly become best friends with everyone they meet. They're never awkward or weird, and they don't scream at you randomly or take the game way too seriously. They're just chill people who love to make new friends. Now in VR, these guys are like super popular. It feels like every lobby they enter, everyone knows them since they're just such cool people. But in real life, it's a different story. Now, of course, I don't actually know, but you can tell that in real life, they're not nearly as extroverted. I mean, who knows? Maybe they're just quietly sitting back in the classroom or in the corner of a party and no one would ever know that they're actually very popular in VR. I know that is a huge assumption, but I have had some experience with people like that. And actually, talking about myself, I'm the opposite. In person, I'm actually very extroverted, but in VR, for some reason, like, I'm more introverted. It's so weird. But anyways, these guys are great. You'll see them in any multiplayer VR game, especially VR chat, back in its prime at least. So these guys are going to the A tier. beatsaber psychopaths. You've definitely seen these beatsaber psychopaths on YouTube. These guys live and breathe beatsaber. They have at least 1,000 hours on the game and can do some of the most craziest things imaginable. Like this guy who's playing beatsaber with a double lightsaber. Like, well, it's like, you know, 2 in 1. How? What? I mean, it looks sick, but it's crazy. It's psychopathic. And I know how hard this is because I've actually tried it. Like I said, I have made a video of me showcasing the weirdest VR products, and one of them was those like Beat Saber sticks that you can connect together. At the end of this video, I'll have the card of that video of the weirdest products appear on screen. You guys can see just how hard these dual lightsabers actually are. At the start, the game may look easy, but you quickly learn how difficult it can actually get. To me, it feels exactly like Geometry Dash or any, you know, like rhythm game at that point. And Geometry Dash players are cracked at that game. And so it's just not fun anymore. Because after you watch some of these Beat Saber psychopaths on YouTube, you lose all motivation and you feel like a noob in comparison. Which you probably are. It's one of those games that's easy to learn, but hard to master. These guys are just trying to push the game to its limit, and honestly, I have nothing but respect for these crazy people. The only strange thing about some of these players, though, is that they only play Beat Saber. Like, they don't even try the other games. But for all of their hard work, I guess I'll give them a B. Bonelab modders. The Bonelab modders are pretty much everyone who bought Bonelab. Because let's be honest, you bought it for the mod support. And I know most of you guys haven't even played the story mode. I actually kind of fall into this category because I'm always modding stuff for like my videos, and it's actually kind of fun. However, I will say I actually enjoy the campaign. Even though everyone can agree that the Boneworks story mode campaign was 10 times better than the Bonelab. You know, the only sad thing about us is that because Bonelab doesn't have an integrated multiplayer support, mod all of these cool things yourselves. But we do no harm. It's a little nerdy, but whatever. Let's give the Bonelab modders a B tier. But that doesn't even come close to how nerdy the VR chat nerds are. These are my least favorite type of user in the entire VR community. And the sad thing is that, unfortunately, some of my VR friends fall into this category. And even worse is that the VR chat nerds nowadays are actually most of the users you will see in VR chat. And you know who I'm talking about. These guys gather around in front of the mirror with their custom anime avatar and just talk about, or just some weird topics too. I've heard like them talk about weird stuff. Anyways, I find it funny how they always have their full body tracking and they use it to immerse themselves in the world. Like you see them lay on the floor, leaning on a virtual wall, or even pretend that they're sitting on the couch. But I think the weirdest one I've seen is that they've changed their anime avatar to wear a bathing suit, go to a pool, like a virtual pool. Yeah, sorry, but these guys just cringe me out, honestly. But am I the only one who thinks this? Tell me, what do you guys think? Like, I'm assuming the people who don't like VR chat because of the VR chat nerds are playing other games. By the way, there are so many more weird stuff about these VR chat nerds. Let's just say some sus stuff, if you know what I mean. And sometimes even in public lobbies. But tell me what you guys think. I want to know, is this just me or do you guys know what I'm talking about? Sorry, but I think these guys ruined VR chat for the VR casuals, so they're gonna go into F tier. This is a video where I showcase the weirdest VR products. You guys can click here to watch it.